It's a beautiful summer night. The stars are splashed across the jet-black sky like shimmering molecules. You sigh with satisfaction and breathe in the heady air. An orchestra of frog chirps and the endless hum of crickets reverberates through the honeysuckle dusk, lulling you into a blissful calm. But then you hear it. The drone is like an air raid siren, breaking the trance of the peaceful moment. You instinctively swat in the general direction, but it's too late. You can feel the itching already. You detect another one and another one. You hopelessly slap, but it's like catching the air itself. All you can think is, I wish they were gone from the face of the earth. Every single one of them. We have all been there, under full attack by the world's most deadly animal. Mosquitoes. For many of us, these summer pests are an annual annoyance, but for the majority, these winged menaces act as vectors for deadly pathogens, transmitting diseases such as malaria, dengue fever, and Zika virus. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, malaria caused an estimated 409,000 deaths worldwide in 2019 alone. Sub-Saharan Africa bears the highest burden of malaria-related deaths, particularly among children under the age of 5. With these stark numbers, it makes sense to condemn these bloodsuckers to death. But what would happen if they were banished completely? Would there be any impact of removing these insects from the ecological niche they occupy? Join us as we uncover the shocking truth behind the world's most deadly animal and the role they play in the complex, interconnected ecological web that we are all a part of. Mosquitoes have a long evolutionary history and have been present on Earth for millions of years. Fossil evidence suggests that mosquitoes or their close relatives have existed for at least 100 million years. These ancient mosquitoes may have had different characteristics and behaviors compared to their modern counterparts. Over time, mosquitoes have evolved and diversified into numerous species that inhabit various ecosystems worldwide. With such a long evolutionary history, mosquitoes have become a significant food source for various predators, such as birds, bats, and certain fish species. If they were suddenly removed, these predators would experience a decline in their primary food source. This could lead to reduced population sizes or changes in their foraging behavior as they seek alternative prey. In turn, the predators' decline could impact other organisms in the food web that depend on them for food or ecological interactions. Mosquitoes are a part of a complex ecological web, and their removal could cause imbalances within the ecosystem. When a key food source is removed, it can have ripple effects throughout the food web. This disruption can lead to population declines or fluctuations in other species, potentially altering the structure and dynamics of ecosystems. Subsequently, this alteration would have unknown consequences on our own dependence on the food web and ecosystem. Another fascinating and little-known fact is that mosquitoes have a role as pollinators. While not as efficient as bees or butterflies, mosquitoes play a part in the pollination process. Surprisingly, mosquitoes primarily feed on flower nectar, not blood. Similar to other pollinators such as bees or butterflies, mosquitoes inadvertently transfer pollen from one flower to another as they seek nectar, aiding in the fertilization and reproduction of plants. It is important to note that female mosquitoes only seek a blood meal for protein when they are preparing to lay eggs, while male mosquitoes solely feed on flower nectar and never bite. So, in addition to their notorious reputation, mosquitoes also contribute to the ecological cycle as unexpected pollinators. The loss of these mosquito pollinators could affect the reproductive success of those plant species, potentially leading to reduced fruit or seed production. Furthermore, a total removal of mosquitoes could cause changes in the ecological dynamics of wetland and aquatic ecosystems. Mosquito larvae play a role in nutrient cycling, and their absence could impact nutrient availability in these habitats. This, in turn, could affect the abundance and diversity of other organisms that rely on these nutrients. It's critical to remember that mosquitoes support biodiversity by interacting with other organisms in their ecosystems. Their removal could lead to a reduction in species diversity, particularly among predators that rely heavily on mosquitoes as a food source. This loss of biodiversity can have cascading effects on ecosystem stability and functioning. The complete removal of mosquitoes could have unforeseen consequences, not just for other species, but for us too. The intricate interdependencies within ecosystems make it challenging to predict all of the potential impacts accurately. Changes in one species can trigger complex responses in others, and the effects may propagate throughout the food web in ways that are difficult to anticipate. Although total annihilation could have a detrimental effect, there are other ways to help reduce the dangers they pose to humans. Efforts to prevent and control mosquito-borne diseases through mosquito control measures has been the first line of defense in most regions to combat mosquito-borne diseases. Some alternative methods to fogging and sprays that have a detrimental impact on vital pollinators, and in some cases human health, are now being used. Sterile Insect Technique (STI). STI involves releasing sterilized male mosquitoes into the wild. These sterile males compete with wild males for mates, reducing the number of viable offspring and suppressing the population over time. Wolbachia bacteria. Wolbachia is a naturally occurring bacterium that can be introduced into mosquitoes. It hinders the ability of mosquitoes to transmit diseases like dengue fever by interfering with the replication of pathogens within the mosquito. Wolbachia-infected mosquitoes are released to establish populations that reduce disease transmission. Larvicidal bacteria. A certain species of bacteria, such as Bacillus thuringiensis israelensis (BTI) and Bacillus sphaericus (BS), produce toxins that specifically target mosquito larvae. These bacteria can be applied to bodies of water, such as stagnant ponds or artificial containers where mosquito larvae develop. The bacteria are ingested by the larvae, causing death and preventing the emergence of adult mosquitoes. Biological control agents. Several organisms, such as certain species of fish, copepods, and dragonfly larvae, naturally prey on mosquito larvae. Introducing these biological control agents into bodies of water can help reduce mosquito populations by consuming the larvae before they mature. Attract and kill strategies. This approach involves using mosquito attractants such as chemical lures or visual cues to draw mosquitoes into traps or targeted areas. Once attracted, the mosquitoes are either killed on contact or trapped for removal. Mosquito repellents and traps. Advances have been made in the development of more effective and long-lasting mosquito repellents, both chemical-based and natural. Additionally, innovative mosquito traps, such as those utilizing UV light, heat, or specific attractants, can help capture and control mosquito populations. A slow reduction in mosquito populations could lead to a gradual shift in ecological dynamics, allowing other organisms to fill their ecological niche over time. As mosquito populations decline, other species that share similar ecological roles may increase in abundance and adapt to the available resources, potentially assuming some of the functions previously performed by mosquitoes. This process, known as ecological succession, can result in a reorganization of the ecological community. However, the specific consequences would depend on the ecosystem and the interactions among different species, highlighting the complexity of ecological dynamics. Careful consideration and comprehensive assessments are essential to understanding the potential impacts of population changes and ensuring the stability and functioning of ecosystems. Another recent method has been gene modification. While there are thousands of mosquito species worldwide, only a small portion of them are known to transmit diseases to humans and animals. These disease-transmitting mosquitoes are typically from specific genera or species groups that have adapted to carry and transmit pathogens. Genetically modified (GM) mosquitoes are mosquitoes that have been genetically engineered to possess specific traits or characteristics, typically with the goal of reducing the population of disease-carrying mosquitoes or controlling their spread. One example is the use of GM Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, which are modified to produce non-viable offspring, thereby reducing the population of disease vectors. Another approach involves making mosquitoes resistant to specific diseases, such as malaria. While GM mosquitoes offer potential benefits in combating mosquito-borne diseases, concerns remain regarding their long-term ecological impacts and ethical considerations. Ongoing research and field trials are being conducted to evaluate the effectiveness, safety, and ecological implications of GM mosquito technologies, ensuring a comprehensive assessment of the potential risks and benefits. It is important to note that some of the most crucial aspects in reducing the impact of mosquito-borne diseases on global health involve access to healthcare, vaccination programs, and public health interventions. Luckily, this is something we can all get involved in through advocacy and supporting charities that provide vaccination programs and other prevention measures to communities in need. So, as you run for cover or apply yet another layer of repellent to try and prevent yourself from being a blood bank for every mosquito in a kilometer radius, stop to consider that they play a complex role in our ecosystems. While they pose significant health risks to humans and animals by transmitting diseases, it is essential to recognize their ecological significance and the potential repercussions of their removal. Balancing the need to protect human health with the preservation of ecological systems requires comprehensive strategies that prioritize disease prevention, habitat conservation, and sustainable mosquito control. By taking a holistic approach that considers the interconnectedness of species and ecosystems, we can strive for effective mosquito management while safeguarding the delicate balance of our natural world.